I have all my ingredients out: the kidney beans, the Italian seasoning, chicken stock, vegetable stock, chopped celery, carrots, fresh chopped basil, fresh chopped zucchini, freshly grated Parmigiano-Reggiano cheese. This is my white wine. Cooked macaroni and fresh, here's onions and garlic. Yeah. And right now I'm heating up the oil. Let me go ahead and add the onions and garlic. That's the next step. I'm holding the camera. Oh shoot. Let's go. Woo! Okay, I just threw those in there. Yeah, my tripod isn't high enough for me to film in here, so I'm gonna have to do this kind of yeah, with one hand here. Okay. So let's see if I can get this a little better focused. Okay. Okay, this is Italian minestrone soup. The recipe says heat 2 tablespoons of the olive oil, which is extra virgin olive oil, in a large, heavy bottom 2-part Dutch oven over medium-high heat. Add onion and garlic and cook, stirring often until the onion is starting to brown slightly, about 3 minutes. I see I made a chopping mistake here. I'll just kind of like throw this over this way. Alright, yeah. Medium-high heat. Let's put the heat up a little bit. Trying to do this while making a cooking video. So onion starts browning. Let's kind of like let it sit there. That's going to let the onion brown a little bit better. Here's the Italian. I actually bought some Italian tomatoes imported from Italy. I'm really picky about my ingredients. So I predict this is going to be a delicious soup. So about 3 minutes. So it starts browning on the edges. This is a recipe that I found online, and it just looked really good. And I thought it was a nice way to use up my celery. I need to brown a little bit. Medium-high heat. Yeah, the heat's pretty. It's about medium-high. I think they like it. Yeah, there's some garlic in here too. I know Italian cooks do not like to brown their garlic, but the onion I think needs to be browned a little bit. I used to cook authentic Italian cuisine. I love Italian food. I love Mediterranean food, Japanese food, and Asian cuisine. Yeah, those are some of my favorites. It's starting to brown a little bit, I think. Put the heat up a little bit higher. Okay, the next step, here's the recipe right here, minestrone soup. The next step after that is you add in the carrots and the celery, Italian seasoning. I'm going to omit the salt, simply because I'm going to rewrite the recipe, so the recipe I'm reading says salt, but I'm going to omit that because the broth has salt in it, and the tomatoes have salt in it, and I don't like too much salt. Yeah. See if it's starting to brown. Kind of just let it sit. Yeah, it's starting to brown a little bit. I think that gives it a nice flavor. That's why they say to do that. All right. Okay, I think it's good enough. Let's go on to the next step. Okay, we're going to add in the carrots and celery. Like I said, I chopped this all ahead of time. I'm getting the rest of it out of here. Okay, and let me go ahead and put this on pause. I'm going to go ahead and add in let's see, Italian seasoning. So hold on, let me just stop for a minute. That's about a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. Okay, let's go ahead and combine all this together. See what the recipe says now. Stir to combine. Continue cooking, stirring often until the vegetables are softened and the pan has a little fond along the bottom. 3 to 5 minutes. I lowered the heat a bit. According to the recipe, the fond is important. Let me read up here. It says the fond is the golden brown pasty crust bits found on the bottom of the pan once the liquid in the veggies has cooked out. Fond is very flavorful, so it is important to develop the fond, to maximize the flavor of the minestrone. Okay, I lowered the heat a bit. Yeah. This smells good. About 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. So we're going to continue to stir it around. And what I did is I opened a can of kidney beans and I drained it and washed it just as the recipe said. So, about 3 to 5 minutes. This is my Dutch oven. I've had this pan since the 1990s, like since about 1994. They don't make pans like they used to. This is a really high quality pan with a metal lid. See the lid right over there? Okay. So, smells good. 3 to 5 minutes. About 5:31 my time. Let's lower the heat a bit. This pan is plenty hot. Yeah, I'm stirring with one hand, holding the camera with the other. Bit of a challenge here. I'm going to lower the heat some more. Okay. So that's good. You're stirring often until the vegetables are softened and the pan has a little fond, about 3 to 5 minutes. You got to keep brown, crusty stuff on the bottom there. Starting to get there. A little bit longer. Yeah, it's starting to get there now. I'm seeing a little bit of brown on the bottom. I'm seeing some of that crusty stuff. Yes. Like I said, I love Italian food. I love Mediterranean cuisine. And believe it or not, as delicious as Italian food is, they're not really a fat country. Maybe it's because they eat a lot of vegetables and stuff. Okay. The Americans are a lot fatter. We eat too much junk food over here. Okay, I think we got the fond going here. I'm seeing a little bit of it. Okay, let's go on to the next step here. Okay, the next step. Pour in wine and cook, stirring until most of the wine is evaporated. 1/2 cup. So let me turn this off right now. Okay. This is not exactly dry white. It's white Zinfandel, but at least it's wine. Okay, so now what we're going to do is cook and stirring until most of the wine is evaporated 1 to 3 minutes. So. White Zinfandel. Wine imparts a nice flavor to a lot of these dishes, so 1 to 3. Turn the heat up a bit until most of the wine is evaporated. Looks like most of the wine's evaporated right now. Okay, next step, add in broth and zucchini, increase heat to high, and bring to boil. So let me turn the camera off so I can go ahead and do that. Hold on. Okay, here is some, I'm kind of mixing chicken broth. There's chicken broth. This is why I'm not adding salt, because this broth is pre-made broth, and it's got plenty of salt in it, including the vegetable broth, which I got from Walmart. This is organic vegetable broth. I put the whole thing in there. That recipe actually calls for pure vegetable broth, but this is 4 cups right here, and I didn't want to buy 2 containers of this, because the recipe calls for 6 cups. So I decided I'm going to compromise and put in a little bit of chicken broth. I made the chicken broth ahead of time. I reconstituted it from a, okay, go ahead. This is why I'm not adding salt, because all these broths. I'll be honest with you, I used to do authentic Italian cuisine, and I would even make my own broth, like a delicious bone broth, but I just don't have time for that. This will still be good. Let me go ahead and throw in the zucchini. Okay, increase heat to high. Let me go ahead and throw in the zucchini. Hold on. The zucchini. This is going to be very nutritious. Oh, come on. One of my zucchinis fell down to the floor. I'll go get it. Okay. Bring to a boil. Where did it go? Maybe I'll find it later. Huh. Oh, I guess I won't worry about it right now. We're going to find it when I'm not looking for it, okay? Let me turn this off and see what is going on. Hold on. Okay, I turned the heat up to high. And, oh, you know what? That chicken broth was cold. That's why it's taking a while for it to heat up. I think I might do a taste test. Hold on. See how it's tasting so far. This is going to be good. Let me just go ahead and turn this off, and I'll turn it back on when the water comes to a boil. Okay, we're going to lower the heat to a simmer. It's boiling. We're going to cook for 4 to 6 minutes, 6:45, about till 5:50. Okay, I lowered it to a simmer. So we can cook for about 4 to 6 minutes. Let me go ahead and just turn the camera off again. They say to cook it till the vegetables are tender, so that'd be about 4 to 6 minutes, yeah. Okay, for the next step, I'm going to add in the tomatoes, and I'll crush the tomatoes into the pan. These are imported tomatoes from Italy. Haha. Yeah, and the cheese that I'm using is imported from Italy as well. Let me turn this off for right now. Hold on. I gotta kind of like Okay, let me go ahead and crush the tomatoes into the pan. I'm wondering if I should use a big spoon for this. I'm going to have to turn the camera off. Hold on. Okay, I needed both hands for that. I kind of broke up all the tomatoes inside the pan. Now we're going to stir in the beans and the cooked macaroni. The macaroni, let me just kind of like, I'm going to be obviously eating this as leftover, so yeah, let's go ahead and put the macaroni in. I'm afraid that if I put, I think what I'm going to do with the macaroni, yeah, let's go ahead and throw it in there. Okay, I cooked this al dente, but 4 minutes, no more than 4 minutes. Very important you do not cook longer than necessary. That means it's going to be done at 6 o'clock. Yep, 4 minutes, and then turn the heat off. Here it is. Now, I do have some basil. What I'm going to do with the basil is sprinkle it into the individual serving bowls. Yeah, because they say that if you're going to reheat this later, it says, do not simmer for too long as this will overcook the pasta and zucchini and dull the flavor of the basil. For best flavor, leave the basil out until it is rewarmed. So once I turn the heat off, I'm going to just like throw in some basil into the soup bowl. And then throw in and then top it with some fresh Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. Yeah, let's see. So we got about 3 minutes to go. Actually, I'm thinking I might even cut it off a little earlier. Yeah, I'm going to cut it off right now. I don't like my macaroni being too gooey. Okay, so I've turned the heat off, which means it's gonna, and I'm just gonna leave it right here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and ladle it into a bowl, and I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, there is the soup, and there's the freshly grated Parmigiano. Let's go ahead and kind of like put the fresh basil in there. I'm going to keep the fresh basil in a separate container and just sprinkle it on to the soup when I reheat it. Here it is, the soup. Let's throw in a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese here. There it is. That looks good, huh? It's a little hot. I'm going to let it kind of cool off, and it's done. And when I taste it later, I will let you know. It's actually quite good. It definitely does not need salt. I can tell you that right now, because the pre-made broth had salt in it, so it's quite tasty, and the cheese adds a nice flavor to it. So I will be posting this recipe at my website.
In a world of secrets, where darkness reigns, there's a warrior rising, breaking free from chains. She's Gail Schuler, her heart's pure and strong. With the power of love, she'll right the world's wrongs. Yeah, fighting against the devil with order. She's the first, a passionate crusader. Let's rally her side.